it's not productive at all. There's instant gratification, sure, to point fingers and say it's your fault. That's understandable in times of tragedy and crisis and, problematic things in this world. However, it's just fueling the fire, as one can say, fueling the toxicity, the anger, the hate, even. And that's not what's helpful at this time. So even though it's understandable, I'm asking not to blame, point fingers. It's easy to do, but if we want to respect the actor, even amongst the tragic stories surrounding his death, that cannot be denied. But continuing, if I'm thinking fondly of my all-time favorite K-drama, My Mister, which is why this hits hard, and the other classic ones he's in, I recommend Pasta too, and I go back old school, Coffee Prince, and even his newer roles, he's just a terrific actor, brilliant, and so that's his work. But then can we continue his legacy? Yes, we can. If you saw My Mister, his character, Park Dong Hoon, absolutely kind, generous, good, full of grace. Can we embody that to navigate through this grief? So his greatest role, in my opinion, only because that's my all-time favorite K-drama. He's in lots of roles, by the way. But I just love that character. I talk about it in my book because I tie that K-drama directly to mental health and what he did to transform somebody, and then he transforms himself, the character that Lee Sun Kyun plays. I would love for us to, that's the call to action here. Blaming, naming, shaming, understandable, but not wise for the sake of our mental health. In a culture that you have come to love through K-content, K-dramas, K-pop, K-beauty, K-food, that culture very much exists. That's real. What you see in the Korean content is real. That love, that chong, the Korean concept of affinity and affection and love and connection, that is all there. But so is the tough stories that we see, the trauma, the suicides, suicidality, the tragicness, the harshness that we see in the culture, the stress surrounding education, that is very much real. And so every culture it's so nuanced, really, and growing up with it, it took me decades to come to grip, and age, this is where age does matter with me just becoming more understanding of the culture I grew up with that I struggled with. And this is why now I'm so passionate as a licensed therapist focused on that intersectionality of mental health and identity and practicing mindfulness and building resilience. But this death, please may it not be in vain. I do believe change is coming because it's come to a head, There is a mental health crisis there. The cancel culture is so intense, it's just unbearable. That cannot be denied, and that is what's sad, and I believe that's the hopelessness. I talked a lot about hopelessness, which is a symptom, by the way, of depression, and perhaps what may have led to some of his cognitions in final moments. We cannot and may never know, events surrounding it, leading up to it, except what we hear in the news. But I want us to embody My Mister's Park Dong Hoon. He changed someone's life. He changed his own life through his goodness, through his example of leadership in the workplace. My goodness, he was such a great leader. People were thrilled when he got that promotion. Do you remember that scene? It was like episode 14, I believe, when he got promoted. And people were thrilled for him in the workplace. You don't see that. But that is an example of how powerful his character is. And so let's continue that. And so that's why I wanted to share. It's just, I'm not asking you to understand the Korean culture, just that empathy and compassion. Can we show that? Because there's a ripple effect there. The goodness and kindness can follow in all of us. And, it's like paying it forward. Oh, that exists. That's there. I want us to continue that, for us to continue his legacy and his work as we navigate together this grief.